Are with us right now on YouTube on the live stream. Welcome, and we appreciate your being here. My name is Jonathan Jones. It's my pleasure, my privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. Today is Tuesday, and it's August the 15th. It's just a little bit after 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The information that we're sharing with you has not been evaluated by the FDA. I don't have a script, so no one has told me what to say. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a researcher. I go and try to find some reality answers. And usually it has to do with some issue that either I'm dealing with or my wife is dealing with. In fact, that's the way the whole thing started. Was my mother was suffering with diabetes, and my father-in-law, likewise, we lost them both to diabetes. And not a good thing. But I still remember that helpless feeling when the intensive care nurse, when I asked her what she was doing for my mom, she said, we're monitoring her very closely. And then when I said, okay, well, what are you doing to make her better? She says, well, to be honest with you, Jonathan, we're praying for her immune system to kick in. And that just still today rings hollow to me, that's what intensive care has to offer. I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer. But I would expect that at that time, the bill was somewhere around $10,000, $15,000 every day that my mother was in there. It's probably $25,000 or $30,000 now. That they were actually doing something to alter her outcome. So, and they had nothing to offer, and they didn't have an immune system kicker in her. But that's when I realized I was in the wrong line of work. So I needed to be more focused on something that could kick the immune system in when the time called for it. Hence, that's where I am. My focus has always been now on the immune system. I had in my van, I bought an old van from a colleague. It wasn't quite so old when I bought it. It was only maybe about 4 years old at the time when I bought it. But I drove that thing till it got almost 300,000 miles on it, 240,000 miles or so on it. 1999 Toyota Sienna. And just drove that thing right into the ground. On the back of my van, we had signs on that thing, and it said, focus on your immune system. So we were very serious about it. And that's what the sign said, focus on your immune system. So it doesn't matter what anyone is saying to you. And even to this day, now doctors have come up with a new form of therapy. They call it immunotherapy. So see, back in the 90s and the 80s and the 90s especially, no one was talking about the immune system. No one was concentrating on it. In fact, they didn't even say that diabetes was an immune system, an autoimmune disease. They didn't say that. The only time that the immune system was being discussed back then was as it related to AIDS. That's the only time anyone would talk about it. So but the nutritionists and the scientists and the doctors that we were coming across as we were getting our training, my wife and I, we studied biokinesiology, iridology, reflexology, and a few other ologies because we really wanted to know how the body worked. It wasn't about, what doctors or anyone else said, but it was about what the reality is. How does the body work? Because, a good kinesiologist, if you know anything about kinesiology, a good kinesiologist can detect some issue long before diagnostic equipment can pick it up. For example, I had been suffering for years with recurring urinary tract infections over and over and over again. So if I was anywhere near chlorinated water, in fact, if you gave me a glass of water, I could tell if the water came from the tap or if it was truly bottled water, and if the bottled water was in fact tap water. Because the slightest amount of chlorine, I would get a urinary tract infection. That's just the way my body worked. But as we were studying these kinesiologists, kinesiology was one of the main areas that we were focusing our attention on. The kinesiologist who trained us was also doing work on us, and that's how we were getting trained. And she pinpointed an issue that had happened in my life when I was around 2 years old. By the way, 80% of all diseases is rooted in some sort of an immune system, not immune system, some sort of negative emotion. A negative emotion is really the root of almost every disease. But somewhere when I was 2 years old, 2.5 years old or so, something happened that triggered me having these recurring urinary tract infections. And so she pinpointed that's when it was. And she said, well, do you remember anything at 2.5 years of age? I said, well, no, how in the world could I remember anything at 2? Oh, I remember having a conversation with my grandmother. My grandmother said, you were a nosy little baby when you were little. She said, one day you were in the crib and everybody else was in the other room and you didn't like being alone in that room. So you crawled up out of that crib and hit your head on the floor to get in and to make sure that you were in the room with everybody else. And the kinesiologist said, that is the moment. So apparently I was feeling left out, and that emotional trauma triggered a recurrence of urinary tract infection and made my bladder evidently very, very weak. She was able to do the emotional work, resave the memory properly so that 2.5-year-old Jonathan understood that it's okay for adults to have conversation in the other room and I wasn't being abandoned. Reasoned that out with me, resaved the memory. And do you know I've never had another urinary infection since.
I can't even remember what you told me about it. I just know you said run some water, and I don't even know what you said. All right, it's okay.
Shut everybody down. Sorry about that. I've never had another urinary tract infection since then. That taught me the power. This is personal experience. So someone could tell me this and okay, I hear you. Maybe it was a fluke. But because it happened to me, I know for a fact now that kinesiology is a real science, because there's no doctor. I mean, the doctor said everything was fine. I'm good. Just take this antibiotic and that'll clear it up and you go back to your business. But there's science out there that we are not exposed to, which means that there's answers out there that we don't know yet. And that's why we keep searching. And that's why personally, I continue to research and dig up any information that I can. Whatever the newest thing is out there, I want to know about it. I run it by my team. We determine if there's any validity to it, and we will share it with others. As it stands right now, I am thoroughly convinced that Dr. Kedar Prasad has hit the mother lode. What this man has done truly is revolutionary, and it's a breakthrough. And I don't use those kinds of words lightly, because I have some things that I think are phenomenal. The problem is that most of the things that are really phenomenal are very expensive, and the average person can't afford it. What Dr. Prasad and David Nemelka have done is make something absolutely stupendously phenomenal, but it's affordable. It's something that the average person can have access to. And I told the story this past Sunday about my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has been suffering with pain. While we're up there, whenever we're in Boston, we tend to get everything under control to a degree. What we can't control is the food that my mother-in-law eats, because my sister-in-laws, they do the cooking. So to the extent that she can, Joanna usually will take over the cooking, but still there's certain things in the house that she has no control over. Vegetable oils, seed oils, foods with GMOs in them. They've done a good job of going gluten-free. My sister-in-law finally has accepted it, that gluten is really bad for their mother. So she literally makes gluten-free bread now for her. So that's cut down on the GI issues that she's had. But the doctor has basically been able to help them to appreciate that the pain that my mother-in-law experiences is simply something she has to accept. She's too sensitive to pain medication. So they want to give her, all they can give her is Tylenol. So they constantly giving her Tylenol or Advil. And does anybody know the caution you need to have when it comes to Tylenol and Advil or ibuprofen? Does anyone know the caution? I'm going to assume that you do know. Everyone does know, but let me just tell you this. Ibuprofen, be very, very careful. Read the side effects. If you want to have a gastrointestinal issue, that's a good way to do it. So just read the side effects. When it comes to Tylenol, phenomenal when it comes to pain relief. But if you go too far with it, the liver has to break down the Tylenol. And guess what the consequence or the byproduct of breaking down the Tylenol is for the liver? Yeah, it creates a poison that's toxic to your system. Now, the average person, your body just takes care of it. It's not a big deal. You just handle it. But even on the FDA's website, the FDA has a slide that says it's a list of what's called glutathione depleting agents. You got to dig for it now. And I saved it when I found it. But they had a list of glutathione depleting agents. And guess what? The third or fourth thing on that list is acetaminophen, Tylenol. And you just do a little bit of research and you'll find yourself that your liver has a hard time breaking it down. That's the reason why a person can destroy their liver accidentally just by having a few drinks of alcohol and then taking a small amount of Tylenol to try to take care of the headache. That combination is deadly for the liver. Some people literally die from that without even being aware. It's accidental suicide from alcohol and Tylenol. Don't read that on the side of the bottle anywhere, do you? Well, that's something that we basically are trying to make our family aware of that. So I had a little sit down and chat, with my sister-in-laws and help them to understand that Tylenol will kill their mom. So the next big question is, okay, well, what do we do about the pain? Well, fortunately, Dr. Prasad is taking care of that. Do you know that just mixing her one packet of Micro Daily EMF and one scoop of the collagen daily within minutes, moments, I don't mean hour, within moments, her pain was dropping from 10 down to 2. And after 15 minutes, she was pain-free, no pain whatsoever. This is major neuropathy, and there's probably some muscle atrophy. She's got stenosis, and she's got sciatica. So all of that gone. And now Joanne is clocking it to see how long it lasts. So because now the idea is to figure out what the cocktail is that will give her the maximum amount of relief with the least amount of product, of course. So now she only gives her the combination of hydro, EMF, and collagen twice a day. So at the top, at the bottom, and in between, about every 3 hours, she gives her one packet of EMF. Problem solved. No Tylenol, no gut issues. Mother-in-law is not heading toward pancreatic or stomach cancer. Nothing like that in the works. So now they can toss those other medications out the window. And now that she's getting on more microdaily EMF, even the tiniest amount of diabetes medication that she's on, even that's going to wind up being taken away because the doctor's been forced to keep reducing it down to the very smallest amount. So she's 92 and a half years old. In just a few months, she'll be 93. And she's taking less medication today than she was 15 years ago at 92 and a half, almost 93. So Dr. Prasad has come up with something that is quite unusual. And remember, folks, this was never designed for the general public. This formula that Dr. Prasad has produced was originally designed for the military, soldiers on the battlefield. That was its purpose. So to give you the official disclaimer, the FDA is not evaluating any of the comments that I'm making today. You will hear testimonials like the couple of testimonials I just shared with you now. Testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. You do not know the clinical circumstances surrounding each person's personal circumstance and what other factors may have played a role in the response that they get. But the individuals who share their stories are sharing what they believe to be factual, and they have a right, the freedom in this country to be able to share their personal story. If you're personally directly involved in the story, the law says that you can share your personal story. We, as a host and moderator, have to make sure that anyone else listening in realizes that results are atypical. And again, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't recommend you do anything I say just because I say it. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. But you can take this information into consideration when making a decision about your health and well-being. I do recommend that. So we're at least on the same page with that. Okay, so now I gave you that just to give you a chance to share to be thinking about your story. And that would give you a little bit of time. So if you've got a personal story that you would like to share, now is your opportunity. Now is your opportunity. I've got one or two here that I'm going to share while you're still thinking about it. Because everybody likes to think about their story. And I always like to think, well, mine's not that big of a deal. I don't think my story is that big of a deal either, to be honest with you, except that somebody might be thinking about taking, and right now might be taking Tylenol and Advil and wondering why you're having stomach problems. So just because I think it's a minor thing, it could be major and life-changing for you, for someone else. So I think we should just go ahead and share these stories. So if you got something, even if it's a fungus under your fingernail that's improved, I think you ought to share it. So here's an interesting story that I think you'll appreciate. This one goes back. It was shared back in April this year, and Liz Henry came up out of the blue and said, "Oh, I have to tell you about my niece. She had something going on with her eye." And she shared her story with us. So let's see if we can't get this to play for us and hear Liz Henry's niece's story. Are you giving me a hard time again, computer? I figured out what's going on with my computer, by the way, while I'm fighting with this thing. Windows takes up a lot of swap file space on your hard drive, and when you fill up your drive with a lot of videos and stuff, it creates a real problem for it. And when you got very small swap file, Windows has trouble with that, and it uses up a lot of CPU energy trying to function. Go ahead, Elizabeth. At least that's my excuse.
I just had a really good experience. My niece lives in Buffalo, New York. She had what they called a stroke in her eye.
Oh.
This has been about 7 months ago. It has to do with the retinal damage to the nerve. And she was told that she was going to go blind. They gave her injections. I don't know what the injections were, but they gave her injections for 7 months. And every time she went back, there was no improvement. Well, she heard about Microdaily. Her mom, my sister, was taking it, and she decided to look into it. She asked me to give her a subscription for the iBoost. I did that. So she's been taking it maybe 2 months now, maybe a month and a half. She went back to her doctor, her eye doctor, just the other day, and he told her, "I don't know what you're doing. It's not just stabilizing, it's actually improving." So she asked, the question was, do you think the iBoost will help my eyes? Do you think it will make me not go blind? And I said, well, we can't say what it will do, but we can say that it's worth a try. So Wow. She called me to tell me that. And she's only taking, I think she's taking a little bit of Microdaily because she's borrowing it from mom, but the iBoost has really helped her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic. It's always exciting to hear when anyone has a dramatic response like that. Wow. So for 7 months, she was making no progress whatsoever. And now suddenly,
He would have been happy just to know that it was stabilizing, that it was not any worse. He says not only has it stabilized, it's actually improved.
Wow. Go ahead, Christine.
I just wanted to ask her how many iBoosts was she taking?
I really can't say for certain, but I did tell her to follow the instructions in the bottle. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure she was taking at least 2 One twice a day.
My goodness.
I will check with her and find out though. And I did write down the specific condition of the eye, and I didn't bring it with me. I forgot you were coming on, Jonathan, and I didn't. I'm not normally not here on Tuesdays, so I will get that information for you.
Wow.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's great.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're here on Tuesday to tell this story.
Yeah.
How old is your niece again?
She's, believe it or not, I'm old enough to have a 60-year-old niece.
Wow.
Well, okay. Interesting story there. Has anyone ever heard of a stroke in the eye? You know, I mean, I've heard of a stroke, and it can affect, you know, your vision. It can affect certain parts of your brain, but I never heard of a stroke in the eye. So it must have been either some sort of a clot that blocked off circulation for her eyes, but she was heading toward blindness. And I sent Liz a note to request more information on her niece. Her niece is still, now this is back in April, and she's still making progress, and she's going to get us the update on this and the exact clinical diagnosis that she experienced. So very interesting. Patricia, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I've heard of this stroke in the eye. I have a friend that had it a couple months ago. She had no high blood pressure, no diabetes, nothing at all. And it just happened. And I did give her the some Macrodaily. I haven't heard. She was taking some of the doctor's stuff and she was gonna wait and take it after. So I don't know if she started. I haven't gotten any report from her yet.
Interesting. Well, there's a video that you might want to share with your friend, Patricia.
Yeah.
And you can get her on the phone there with Liz and her niece, and she no doubt will be happy to share her story, because she's taking not just Microdaily, but Microdaily, and primarily she's taking the Eye Boost. And Dr. Prasad talked about the Eye Boost this past Sunday with his own family.
Yeah, I'm taking it too, because I had severe dry eyes that led one doctor to think that I needed surgery for cataract, and then I went for a second opinion, and he said it's just dry eyes, and I subscribed some drops, but ever since I've been taking the Eye Boost, I've not been taking the drops. I've not felt the need for it. I haven't gone back to the doctor to check any changes, but just never felt the need to use the eye drops. Before, I was using it 3 or 4 times a day. The eye would itch or something would happen with the eye that reminded me to put the drops in, but nothing is happening. So I'm waiting to see when I go back to see what he says.
You are just literally becoming the Engaged Global poster child. That's all we can say about you, Patricia. Thank you. She gets good results with everything Dr. Prasad produces. We can't wait to hear your omega-3 stories. So make sure you keep track and tell us what benefits you get from omega-3 as well, okay? All right, so now let's see. That's a few stories now. So who'd like to share their story now? There is no such thing as an insignificant story, folks. So if you have some positive benefit that you've been getting from any of the Engaged Global products, please share that with us now. Now is your chance. We want to hear these stories because we share these. Sometimes you've already told them on the testimonial call, but we share these on specific topic related calls with Dr. Prasad also. And then your guest, the general public, gets to hear these stories in connection with the science. So, and that happens on our Sunday call. It's like we just heard Patricia's amazing story with fatty liver. And that's just mind-boggling. And by the way, Patricia, your story is just flying all over the place. So everyone's learning about the benefits of Microdaily, raising glutathione levels and these antioxidants when it comes to keeping your liver healthy. Now, if you're not telling a story right now, you may have some question that's been lingering in the back of your mind. You're more than welcome to share that as well. So while you're thinking, I've got one last story to share with you. And there's a Melanie who's on the meeting right now. So I'm not sure if this is the same Melanie or not. But this Melanie shared her story, I think, back in February or so of this year. Interesting story having to do with fibroids. So let's listen in. Melanie, we're just at the end here. You got the last word here today.
Okay, so I just wanted to give an update on something I spoke about some time ago in reference to myself having fibroids, and I got the results from my ultrasound recently. And
Wait, tell us from the beginning how this. Tell us about this. Go ahead.
so I have several fibroids. So I started taking micro daily because of other experiences that other individuals were having. So I started taking micro daily, and I felt like there was some shrinkage and just the way it felt, but then I wanted to get an ultrasound to see if that was actually true as well. So when I got my ultrasound results back recently, and there is some shrinkage in several of the fibroids. So I, don't expect anything to happen overnight, but I'm just going to keep at it. And right now I take 6 2 times a day of the EMF. And then I take also all the other products as well, the collagen, the brain boost, and the eye boost. So I'm excited about that. And so what I'll do is later on this year, I'll take another ultrasound, or whenever I had the opportunity to get one rather, and then see what's next as far as the shrinkage is concerned. But I'm really happy to see, that what I felt was also validated by the results for the ultrasound.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing your story. And you said you're taking the EMF 3 capsules twice a day.
I'm taking the EMF 6 capsules 2 times a day.
6 capsules 2 times a day. Okay. All right. That's very good. That's a good protocol then that you're on. And doesn't surprise us that you're getting those kinds of results. And no doubt it's probably helping you with your energy levels too, right?
Yes, most definitely. It is helping a lot. Even when I feel like I have not gotten enough sleep, and I feel like my body is tired, I still keep going. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, nothing is going to replace, a night's sleep, but I still have the energy to go, but, I have to just stop at some point. But the energy level is great.
All right. Just like we suspected that something might be going on there as far as improved energy was concerned. So, okay. So there's another one. It just keeps happening where folks are getting benefits like this. It never ends. It never ends. And we like sharing those. And we'll probably share that one also with Dr. Prasad at some point. And we're going to try to gather up a lot of this clinical data so that Dr. Prasad can write some observational studies. And if any of you would like to participate in an observational study, all you have to do is send an email in. You can actually request, you can sign up to share your details. You remain anonymous. Your personal information doesn't go in on these studies, but they do get published. It will get published. And you could help the scientific community by sharing the details of your story. So we're hoping to get a lot of that information in especially with Patricia. Now, I see Melanie M's hand up right now. Are you the same Melanie M that just told the story?
I am.
Well, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. You didn't even know what I was going to share that story tonight, did you?
No, I did not. But I was waiting to see what happened. If not, I was gonna chime in. But I can just say that my energy level has not changed. Still doing phenomenal with that. It's so interesting that when I have to get up early, morning for volunteer work or whatever, most of the individuals around me are like, I'm so tired, and I'm just like, I'm not. And so I want everyone to experience this because it's definitely made a big difference in my life with my energy level and everything. So, but yes, it's very, very much so help with that and sleep at night. So
Well, that's a beautiful thing. And are you going to give us at some point? You give us an update on how you're doing with your primary problem there with the fibroids, because usually when a person is dealing with fibroid issues like that, that's one of the causal reasons for having dramatic energy loss. So feel free to just give us an update on where you are with that at any time. Okay.
I will, as soon as I get the opportunity to, they allow me to, I definitely will and give you all an update.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. We're looking forward to it. Thank you very much. All right. So there we have it. There's Melanie's right here on the meeting and hearing her story right back in her face, live and in living color. Okay. So now that's it. Now I'm going to go quiet until someone shares their story now. So now just go ahead. We just want to hear your story now. I'm going mute. You could just unmute and start talking.
Hey, Jonathan, it's Marie.
I'm muted, so I'm not talking. Go ahead, Marie.
Oh, you're okay. I just wanted to speak a little bit about the omega-3 that
Okay.
I've been taking it, probably over a week now. And I have to say, from the first one that I put in my mouth, because I'm not a good swallower of capsules and all that stuff. I usually break open mine, and I put that in my mouth, and it dissolved so quickly, and the taste, I barely taste it, and just a little bit after taking it, I could feel a difference in my body. It just felt, I don't know if it was better clarity, and then the energy, because I had a fall in May, and before that fall, oh God, from the other EMFs and the probiotic and the all of the other Dr. Prasad bundle, man, I mean, I'm 72, and it gave me such energy because I have steps going up and then steps going down into my basement. And I cannot express enough what these products have done for me. And that omega-3 capsule, I love it. I take 2 of them per day. And I just love the way it just dissolves. So you can leave the whole capsule in your mouth and it'll completely dissolve. You don't have to do any swallowing at all.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I love it. And so that's easy. And then the rest of my meds, no meds. I got taken off of some of those things because I have diabetes type 2, hypertension, irregular heartbeat, and that old rheumatoid arthritis. And man, I mean, I used to go through a lot of pain and have those flare-ups, from the arthritis. And my A1C went down from 6.3 to 5.8. My numbers used to run well over 200 every morning. Now, it dropped down to like 100, 110, and those lower numbers. And I wasn't used to seeing that. and even my blood pressure, all of that got down because it used to run well over at 160, 180 and all like in that. And now it runs about 120, sometimes 115. And
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
just Lord, yeah. And for the rheumatoid arthritis, I was taking that methotrexate, which is a high risk drug for chemo.
Yeah, it's a chemo.
Yeah. And I mean, like I started in November, and by January, my doctors, I had went to all of them, my cardiologist, the rheumatologist, my primary doctor, everybody. And they all gave me raving reviews. They were wondering what I had done. And I took all of my meds to all of them and showed them what I was taking. And they all said, this is some good stuff, is what they called it, stuff. I said, yeah. And I said, the energy that I have. So my primary doctor, she took me off of glipizide and the hydrochlorothiazide. And then my rheumatoid doctor, she was just smiling and grinning when I went in to see her. She said, Miss Marie, she said, you are doing great. Your numbers, everything is just good. So I'm going to ease you off of that methotrexate. I said,
Wow.
oh, thank you, you know. And they all gave me raving reviews. My cardiologist, he said, you're doing great. See you next year. And my primary doctor, she told me, she says, she comes to me and she said, you know what? Normally I come to you once a month. It's going to be, I'll see you every 2 months. I said, okay. And I mean, I had therapists, 2 of them coming every week. I had a nurse that would come and all of that. All of that has been eliminated.
Wow.
I don't deal with any of that anymore. And I can't speak enough on these products. I just can't. I mean, and even some people that I shared with, some of them got rid of their walkers and wheelchairs and all of that. And they are just, they say, we'll be on it for the rest of our life. And I say, we all will, you know. So, I mean, these products work. I cannot speak enough on how well they work. And another thing, Jonathan, Catrice had asked me for my testimony, you know, the one that you did, and you sent me all of that, but I can't find it anywhere. And some other people wanted it. Is it any way you can send that to my email instead of my phone? Because I love my laptop as opposed to the phone. If you could send that to me, I would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That wouldn't be a problem at all.
All right.
Yeah, I'll make sure that you get that. See,
Okay.
your story is truly a remarkable one as well, Marie, because like I said about my mother-in-law in her 90s, for her to be taking less medication, somebody could easily say, well, that's a one-off, you know, that's a rare situation. But now here you are saying the same thing. You're 20 years younger than her.
Yeah.
But your doctor's rolling back your meds.
Yes. I'm waiting on to roll back a few others. I can't wait. I just had blood work done maybe a couple of weeks ago. She'll be coming, my doctor will be here this coming Monday. And I'm waiting to hear her report. I haven't heard anything from him, so no news is good news. So I'm thinking she told me, she said, I'm not worried about you at all. That's the last time she was here. So
wow.
I can't wait to see what she's got to say Monday.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing. And make sure you come back and give us the updates.
I don't mind, because if I can help someone, that's my goal.
Oh yeah, it's helping folks. I can tell you that for sure.
Truly.
I just put a link to your story For some reason I have part 2 of your story on my screen right now, but that's part 2. It says of your story. I'm going to try to find part 1 before we're
Okay.
done with this meeting. So, not sure why that says that, but
I'll
anyway,
appreciate it. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much, Marie,
Mhm.
for sharing, giving us that update to your story.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Anybody else? Oh, I found the original. I found the original. Here's part 1. So now you got folks will have 2 versions of Marie's story. Will be in the chat now. So this is part 1. There we go. So 2 links there. And put your email address in the chat for me, Marie, and then I'll make sure to send you both of those in one email, okay? All right.
Will do, Jonathan. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, who else would like to share their story? And I see Catrice is with us. Welcome, Catrice. We're happy to have you join us. And who else would like to share their story? Now's your chance. The mic is yours. Even if it's just an update, you're more than welcome to. And if you have questions right now,
Maybe I might say something, Jonathan.
All right, Bob. We'll hear your story.
Well, Microdaily is still working for me with MS. I mentioned before how I always had body pain. And because that is one thing that comes with it, because it's like, especially when I go to bed at nights, all the muscles in my body just start hurting. I have to usually I take MSM and magnesium, and maybe one of those what the serapeptase or something, like one of those enzymes, or sometimes I take bromelain with that, just to settle down at nights before I could go to sleep. Because I was always aching my legs, my trunk, just all over, right? And but no, I don't feel that anymore. And what I recently started doing now, I'm doing push-ups again. And I'm also, of course, there was an exercise that I, was usually was doing before some time ago, but then just that I didn't have the energy to do. It's like I would just hold on to the wall or to the door frame and just push, like with my legs, like just like I'm pushing a motor vehicle, a car, So I put a lot of pressure on my legs, and before Microdaily, when I would do that, I'd be really exhausted. Now I feel that I'm just keeping the energy. I'm going, and it's like as if I wasn't doing anything strenuous at all. So I mean, I'm sure the Microdaily is really doing its job. As far as the omega-3, as a matter of fact, those 3 that Dr. Prasad combined, it's something I used to buy them individually, right, to take. And it really get expensive, but in the comparison, and knowing that he has the right combination and all that, I know I'm getting something good. But it does give you a kind of a feeling of well-being when you take it, and of course the clarity is there, as Mary mentioned, right? So it's working really well for me. And I'm so thankful for these products because it's really making a difference.
Well, Bob, that's your updates are always invaluable. Not too long ago, someone asked for information about someone who has MS that's benefiting from Dr. Prasad's formula. So once again, we got yet another poster child.
Happy to share.
Proves how this stuff works in some extreme situations. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we still got a few more minutes. We can squeeze one more in. One more in. Give us your update. There's no such thing as a minor story. Something that you think is minor could be major to somebody else. Go ahead. This is your chance. Something that you have benefited from. It could be any other products, by the way. It doesn't have to be Micro Daily. Because I can talk all day and all night when it comes to this brain boost. And let me tell you something I will not. This will always be on my desk. So if this stuff is phenomenal. I take 2 of these in the morning. And then sometimes, depending if I'm feel like I'm kind of haven't had a good night's sleep, I'll take another one at noon. And but usually I only need to take one more at night, sometime before the conference call like this, and it just fires things right back up. I'm not grasping for my for thoughts. I usually can remember just about everything for the most part. Every once in a while, I still get a little, fuzzy area there, but usually it's because I forgot to take that last brain boost late in the day. So that's a major plus for me. I haven't had an aha moment yet with the Omega. So, and I don't think I've had an aha moment with the iBoost. Well, one day I did have an aha moment with the iBoost. Shocked I was able to read a real estate sign 5 or 6 houses away, and I didn't have my glasses on at the time. I was shocked that that was the case. So, okay. Well, for those of you who are here for the first time and you're just curious, you were just curious as to whether the products had any value and whether they would be of benefit to you. We hope that you've had enough information that will help you to be able to make a decision, about what you want to do as to whether or not you want to go forward with using any of these products. We hope that you're familiar enough now, aware enough now of the value of Micro Daily and all the products. So just get back with the person and invite you to this discussion, and they will help you set up your subscription. I highly recommend that the subscription that you focus on is the Hydro EMF. It is now 100% without question the de facto strongest formula that we have in this company, and everyone is all saying the same thing. It seems right now that the my EMF Hydro is the best product. So if you're able to get that, great. Now, if your budget will only allow you to take the original, that's fine. But we highly recommend that you get at the very least on the basic bundle. If you get the basic bundle, that's Micro Daily EMF along with the probiotic boost. The gut-brain connection is important. The better option is to go with the premium bundle. The premium bundle is the same 2 products, but it includes the what's in the premium? The omegas? No, it's the collagen is in the premium bundle. Collagen we're going to be talking about that this coming Sunday. So you want to hear the discussion about the brain. Collagen is a core part about the brain, but collagen affects the entire body. But my favorite part about collagen is that it blocks beta amyloids in the brain. And that's what damages a certain part of the neurons in our brain that can lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. It causes memory loss. So the collagen is a huge component to good brain health and whole body health. So those 3 items is in the premium bundle. The core 4 includes the omega 3. Dr. Prasad's omega 3 is not the same as anybody else's. The others, they have the ratio of omega 3 to omega 6 is off. They sometimes go 6 and 10 to 1. But the American diet is so loaded with omega 6 that you think you're getting a better deal because you're getting so much omega 6, but that's not true. That's what leads to a terrible imbalance and inflammation in the body that you don't even realize is happening, and it's being caused by the supplements that you're taking. But Dr. Prasad's is carefully balanced so that you have the correct ratio of omega-3 and omega-6. And we'll hear about that this coming Sunday as well. So we want to make sure that you guys are all here and take full advantage of that discussion this coming Sunday. But now here's your challenge. Your challenge is you have to know somebody. After every single meeting, someone says, oh, I wish so-and-so had been here. Oh, I wish I could have got my this or my that one, to come to the meeting. We'll get them there. Don't wish it afterwards. I guarantee you they will thank you for telling them about that meeting this coming Sunday. So start telling them now, start inviting them right now, and so that they can prepare themselves and benefit from all of the phenomenal information that they will be able to hear from Dr. Prasad. That's this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when we start, 5 p.m. Standard Time. That's every single Sunday. I have my meetings every Sunday at 5 and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. 5 and 7. Those are my meetings like this. Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate your presence and your support. Tell somebody. Share the recording with them. Pass this information on to somebody that you care about. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all for the
Thanks a lot, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate your stories.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
God bless us all.
I sent you the email, Marie.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
We got 2 links, so you can decide which one you prefer.